Good morning, class. My name is Specialist Taylor. Today I will be giving you a briefing on accountability and the leader. The overall classification of today's briefing is unclassified. Now, before we get into the video or the briefing today, we're going to go over some admin data. So the block or the overall risk assessment for today is low, but we do have some hazards. We do have outlets around the room, so this is going to be a short briefing. Just please do not put anything in the outlets. I do have a window behind me here, so it is open. Just do not attempt to hang out of it at all. We do have cords on the ground, so please be cognizant of where you're walking to avoid any tripping hazards. And finally, we do have a cooking hot plate over here. It has not been on today, but just don't touch it. Regardless, just in case it may be hot. I also want to thank my SGL Staff Sergeant Trimble for sitting in today. Also, we are, in the event of an active shooter today, first we're going to barricade the door and attempt to hide, and then if it gets down to it, we will try to fight. And then if we do have a fire in this building today, we are going to evacuate through this door right over here and meet at the designated meeting area, which is outside by the severe weather shelter. Last thing, we are a green army. We are going to reduce, reuse, and recycle. So at the end of this briefing, please make sure to pick up all your trash and put it in the proper bin. All right, finally, we're going to do a PCC and PCI's checklist. You were all required to bring pen, paper, and a water source today, so if you all could, please pull that out now so I can check it. Thank you. So, the agenda. Today we're going to go over the accountability within the ranks, accountability of yourself, and accountability of your soldiers, how we will approve accountability in the future, and then we will go into a summary, and then if we have any questions, feel free to answer those, and we'll discuss the briefing. So, why is it vital to be accountable as a leader? You as a leader, you are the first line to your soldiers as their direct leadership. So if you are not at work on time, in the right uniform, where you're supposed to be, that reflects poorly on yourself, but it also shows very poorly on your leadership abilities, and your soldiers will start to notice that. So it does start with everyone. I believe everyone in the Army, regardless of rank, is a leader, but us as NCOs, we do need to hold ourselves to a higher standard. That way we are that foundation for our soldiers to build upon. So that went over accountability of yourself, but also accountability of your soldiers. You as their first line leader, you need to be the one who is responsible for them. You need to make sure that they are given the proper guidance. You want to make sure that they are given the proper uniform that they are supposed to show up in. You need to make sure they are given the proper time to when they need to show up, and where they are supposed to show up, the proper building number, address, whatever it may be, to ensure your soldier will be successful in getting there when they need to be there. And then, why is accountability so important? Again, accountability in garrison, you always want to, again, it reflects poorly on yourself if you are not accountable, whether it be yourself or if your soldier is not accountable, if they have to be in a class at a certain given time or they need to be on a certain detail. If they are not there by the giving time, that reflects poorly on them, and then in turn it comes back on you and it makes you look poorly as well. So what do your soldiers see when you are being constantly accountable? It shows them that you care. I feel like a lot of times once soldiers hit a certain rank, I think accountability kind of goes into the back of their mind, and they are no longer really caring of when they show up. They don't really care how their uniform looks. They don't care if they arrive at the proper time. But again, you should be the example that your soldiers want to build upon. And when you are constantly accountable, in the right place, at the right time, in the right uniform, it shows them that you care, and in turn, they're also going to want to do the same to mimic your example, because in the future, once we are either moved on out of our current unit or we are ETS'd from the Army, retired, whatever it may be, those are the future leaders of the U.S. Army and the U.S. military. So you want them in turn to take your spot, and so there's no better way for them to take your spot than for them to mimic your example. So always try to be accountable. That way you're just a great example for your soldiers. And then how should we go about fixing current accountability issues within the ranks? I feel like counseling sessions, those do need to make a big comeback. We have slacked in the past with our counselings. Accountability, I feel like, is taken too lightly in the Army. We need to step up our game on that. The first time, whether it be your soldier or yourself, regardless, if it's you as the E5, your platoon sergeant, should be the one to step in, pull you to the side. What's going on? Why are you late? Why are you not in the right uniform? Why are you not where you're supposed to be? Because in today's age, it's hard with the technology and the communication skills that we have to not be in the proper place, right time, right uniform. Between the chats that we can all be in, we all have phones nowadays, so there's just no excuse to not be accountable. And if there is something to pop up, a last-minute emergency, family issues, vehicle trouble, you can't wait till the last minute to address these issues. These have to be something that as soon as they pop up, hey Sergeant, I got this coming up right now. Is this okay if I miss this at this time? That way I'm still being accountable. That way it doesn't look like I just do not care at all and I just don't show up. And then for your soldiers, when they are not accountable, first pull them to the side before you just go straight into a negative counseling. Pull them to the side, ask them what's wrong. Is everything okay at home? Why is your vehicle breaking down? Do you need help, fixing it? Just be that good example again for your soldiers to go off of. So in summary, why is accountability so vital to mission success? Again, you want to, if you cannot be accountable in a garrison environment, you cannot guarantee that you're going to be accountable in a combat scenario. And if you're not accountable in a combat scenario or any kind of hostile environment, it could end, the end result could be someone losing their life, and we cannot have that. Accountability, summarize accountability of yourself and your soldiers. Again, be that shining example for your soldiers to mimic off of, and then in turn your soldiers will just be that much set up for success in the future. And then how to fix accountability issues. So like I said, we need to move back into, we need to enforce accountability stricter than what we currently do. We can't be letting these little issues just kind of keep sliding through the cracks. We have to address them at the smallest level, because when you fix the problem at its smallest level, it keeps everything from building up over time when you're having major issues. So again, just fix that at its lowest level. Are there any questions? At this time, if there are no questions, this concludes my brief.